We have some awesome topics to go through in the Danny's World community. Our first topic is about the 3 events we have, which are Easter, Halloween, and Christmas. They're all super fun. This Redditor said potential solution to the event skin problem, event shop trinkets. And they have 3 examples of event shop trinkets: a candy bowl, sleigh bells, and a potential Easter trinket. So basically this user is saying that what if the event shop included trinkets you could buy for events, just like Dandy's shop. Dandy sells trinkets that are different from twisted trinkets, and some of these trinkets are really powerful. What if event shop trinkets also sold trinkets as well? The user goes on to say, I don't know, we need something that isn't skins to spend our event currency on, and I think we just need more interest in trinket variety synergy in general. I am tired of the same 3 combos. Let's take a look at some trinket examples the user suggested. So the first is candy bowl, which will grant a random candy item each floor. That sounds alright, and that will be for the Halloween event. Another example of a holiday trinket you can buy from the event shop is sleigh bells. Lowers stealth while running. That would be so helpful to distractors and any players that want a challenge. They couldn't think of a trinket for Easter, but you get the idea. As you all know, the dev team have been cooking up some awesome skins, but for some players it's a bit overwhelming. Maybe there's a bit too much skins, a bit too much of one thing, and what this user has suggested, which are holiday trinkets to buy from the shop with event currency, sounds like an amazing addition to events. Our next topic is about V. V is one of the permanent main toons in Dandy's World. V has an awesome ability that reveals all machines for your team and yourself. This user on Reddit said, why does nobody main V? I feel like people do play V. Maybe V is quite an underplayed toon. One of the reasons why V could be underplayed is because V's speed is quite low, which means V is a challenging toon to play. Slower toons definitely have a higher skill cap, and playing a toon that's a bit faster just makes surviving a bit easier in Dandy's World. The Redditor goes on to say, I prefer to main as Gordy, but surely having V on every run would make life easier. I have to play as V every run because nobody wants to. That's interesting because the huge attraction of V is V's active ability, which reveals all machines and twisteds. But the question is, do players need machines to be revealed for them? Do players need a V on their team? And quite honestly, I think it's quite easy to find machines, so that could be another reason why V's underplayed. Most players find it's easy to locate machines. This user replied saying, because nobody can be respectful enough to leave machine near Ellie for slow toons in general to do. So again, this is about V's speed being a bit too slow and V having to go to the back of the floor to find machines, and by the time it's panic mode, V will have to make a long run back to the elevator. Of course, there are some trinkets that help with speed during panic mode, like Vanity Mirror and Alarm. They both increase your movement speed during panic mode. There are V mains out there. This user said, I main her and love it. V is a very useful support main. She can reveal machines and twisted, so there's definitely V mains out there that play V all day. Next up, we have a topic about toon masteries. So currently our toon masteries gives us a vintage skin, and some players feel that toon masteries can be reworked to give better rewards. This Redditor said toon mastery idea, and they have some ideas for toon mastery rewards. Let's take a look at them. So this Redditor proposes a buff to toons' current abilities once you complete their masteries. So they've given some examples, and the first example is for Poppy, and once you complete Poppy's mastery, Poppy's passive gets 100% movement speed for 5 seconds after Poppy gets hit, and you also get 50 extra stamina afterwards. I wonder if the 50 extra stamina is permanent stamina, or if the 50 stamina is removed. Our next example is for completing Flutter's mastery, and Flutter's buffed ability leaves a trail of gust after dashing that stays for 10 seconds that gives Twisted slowness too. this ability is definitely a possibility because we already have an item that slows Twisteds down, Soul Sword, so the dev team could definitely integrate something like this in the future. So for Roger, an ability buff is to highlight a Twisted's footprints for himself for 6 seconds after losing sight when spotted. Wait, that sounds so cool. So when you lose sight of a Twisted, you can see its footprints on the floor and find out where it went to. That is so on theme for Roger. Roger is a detective, so that is an amazing idea. For Connie, a big change is that Connie will be able to phase through thin walls. So Connie will be able to walk through walls once she becomes invisible. That sounds kind of overpowered. It sounds like a bug nightmare. Just imagine the bug reports if this ability becomes a reality, but definitely an interesting idea. The next Toon Mastery buff is for Sprout, and a noticeable change is after Sprout heals a Toon, that Toon will receive a shield for 10 seconds that will block damage from Twisteds, but will only protect that Toon from one attack. I think that sounds kind of balanced. Maybe Sprout's cooldown would have to be increased because that sounds very powerful if the cooldown is a bit too low to not only heal a Toon but also give them protection from another hit for 10 seconds. I'm sure the dev team have big plans for masteries because let's be honest, a Vintage skin for completing a mastery is an okay reward, but there definitely is room for improvement. And since Dandy's World is full of skins now, getting a Vintage skin isn't as impressive anymore. Our next topic is about Carebare skins. If you remember, in October we got a Carebare event where we got 3 Carebare skins and we had to complete some quests to unlock the skins. Players who bought extra skins with Robux have found something weird in their Roblox transactions. This Redditor said new Carebare skins possibly in the future, and as you can see, they've screenshotted their transactions on Roblox from the Carebare event in October 2025, but for some reason, instead of the transaction name being the skins they bought in October, the transaction name has changed to skins that nobody has ever heard of before. As you can see, the Roblox transaction says purchased Carebare Cosmo and purchased Tenderheart Bear Sprout. What are these Carebare skins? Nobody has ever heard of this before, but the Roblox transaction says that you've bought it. So now there's talk of these skins being in a future Carebare event. So it looks like the Blush Crunch dev team have overridden last year's Carebare skins with a future skin line for Cosmo and Sprout. And apparently there's going to be a Carebare skin for Gigi. As you can see, this Redditor has looked inside their Roblox transactions and went back to October 2025 Carebare event, and it says they've purchased Wish Bear Gigi. So that must be a future skin coming for the Carebare event. This leak is 100% legit because when you look at developer products for Dandy's World, you can see Tenderheart Sprout, Wish Bear Gigi, and Carebare Cosmo, and they will cost 100 Robux each. And here we have the pages of the different skins created 1 day ago, updated 1 day ago for Tenderheart Sprout. This is for Wish Bear Gigi, and then Carebare Cosmo. So this is a 100% official leak. So I'm guessing just like our first Carebare event, you will get to pick one of these skins for free, and the next 2 skins you will have to pay Robux for. So that's super exciting. There's another Carebare event planned. Hopefully it's this year. I looked into my transactions. What's interesting is yesterday when I looked at my transactions, I had the same skins as this Redditor, but it looks like the dev team have corrected their mistake of overriding the existing skins with future skins, and now the skin names that you purchase now show the old skin names instead of the future skin names. So the dev team have definitely changed something. Our next topic is about Double Twisteds. Double Twisteds were removed from the game in January 2026. There are some exceptions on Dial's floor for double twisteds to appear. However, the idea of double twisteds inspired this Redditor who said, wouldn't it be funny if that one double twisted glitch was a feature? Let's take a closer look at what they have presented. They've basically said that double twisteds can become a feature. As you can see, we have regular Toodles, then we have variant 1, blind Toodles, who ignores stealth, then we have variant 2, deaf Toodles, who ignores sound. Oh my word, that is an amazing idea. The Dinosaur dev team need to get on this ASAP. That sounds so interactive because not only will these variants have new research, which increases playtime, which would be awesome for the game, but it adds so much more dimension to Twisteds. Right now, Twisteds are kind of stale, kind of meh, boring, but adding variations of the same Twisted, that sounds so fun. And they've given more examples of Twisted Goop variants and Twisted Razzle and Dazzle variants. The Redditor goes on to say mains wouldn't have variants because that would be totally crazy. The Redditor goes on to say they would start appearing like after floor 20 because anything before would be annoying. Interesting, they said Twisted variants wouldn't have separate research. Researching one Twisted would give you research for all the other variants too. If two spawn, yeah, that means double research because there's two. I think it would be a good idea to give the variants different research because that could unlock a new variant of the trinket. Wouldn't that be interesting? So variant 1 Toodles will have an altered version of dog plush and variant 2 Toodles will give another variation of dog plush. Doesn't that sound amazing? The Dinosaur dev team definitely need to look at this idea because it does sound like a game changer.